Week one was crazy, and tonight, week two begins. In this video, we'll break down everything that you need to know on NFL all day. We're talking market movers, strategy, and speculation on the playbook, OTM Rumble, and more. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? If you're new, my name is Eric. Welcome back to the weekly spot on NFL all day. And man, are they on fire. But is it worth it to complete the playbook challenges this week? I'm not so sure. We'll get straight into it and zoom in full screen. But before we do, help me out by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and letting me know down in the comments, who do you think is going to be the top scorer in fantasy football this week? We had some big ones last week, but give me Devontae Adams this week. I see 10 plus receptions and 2 receiving touchdowns for him. All right, let's zoom in. If you've been following the channel for a while, then man, that Thursday night strategy that I talked about a couple weeks ago is really starting to pay off, especially this week. But also last week, Cooper Kupp had a huge Thursday night game. Not only did you need him in a challenge, but he was a great option for Rumble Hero, which I ended up locking in his rare for that 1.25 bonus. We'll talk about OTM Rumble at the end of this video. But let's take a look at what's on the docket this week. And this will be probably done with already by the time that you watch this video. But you can see Mike Williams. I was calling this one out at about 80 bucks. It's gone up to 186 at this point because you might need him in tonight's contest. You need the number one receiver tonight. So that definitely could be an option with Herbert and Mahomes going head to head. I won't spend too much time on this, but we will take a look at the challenge real quick. And again, they're throwing in a defensive player from both teams. They're throwing in the most receptions, which, if Mike Williams does end up hitting, he only has rares and legendaries. So my initial guy that I was going for on that for that Rumble Hero purposes was Keenan Allen, and he's going to be out today. So a little bit of bad luck there, but they're throwing something new into it as well. And we're going to get into this a little bit more when we talk about speculation, is that they're throwing in a cheat code. Okay. So if you have a rare or a legendary quarterback, either Herbert or Mahomes, or maybe there's another quarterback that gets in the game today. I don't think so, but you'll be able to use that as a cheat code. And we'll talk about that when we break down this week's lineup in just a little bit. I'm recording this about 3 hours before game time. I'm hoping to release it about an hour before kickoff tonight. And I see a lot of people taking the Chargers +4. I'm kind of liking the Chiefs to cover in this one. I do see the Chargers coming back and maybe winning the division, even beating the Chiefs in the playoffs this year. But for this game, second week of the season, I see the Chiefs bringing it home in Kansas City. Okay, here is the playbook for the week. For logging in every single day, you get 10 points right off the rip. For editing your profile to a new banner, you get another 10 points, which is easy. All you got to do is hit this button right here. For buying a moment in the marketplace, you get another 10 points. So that is 30. All you need is 10 more points, but wait. You need to burn 5 moments in order to be able to get these premium packs right here. So if you want to even go for this 40 yards or this 20 yards right here to rip open that reward pack, then you have to burn 5 moments, which is a $40 value. Just to prove that, here's how I figure. Here's OTM's site. I'm sorting by low ask, and the floor price right now is $8. So if you don't have these in your collection already, stuff that you don't want, and if you don't think that you're going to get to that 40-point mark or this 20-point mark right here, selling these at $8 a piece so that people can burn isn't necessarily a bad play. I actually kind of like it because the more expensive it gets to play, the less people are going to play. Okay. So what I mean by that is if the floor is at $8 right now and it costs basically your opportunity cost is either you can burn 5 moments and get, 1 moment in this pack, 2 moments in this pack, or whatever. If you go for this one, you can get more. If you go for 100, you can get a lot more. But you know what I mean here. Your opportunity cost of playing, especially if you're not going to go for it all the way, which can get super expensive. And really, you don't know, depending on what the challenges are going to be, is $40 because you could either burn that $40 and lose it and then have to spend more money on these challenges, or you can just cash out and look for more buying opportunities, which is what I will be doing this week. If you have a ton of moments stacked up at a low cost, $2 per moment, then, go for it, I say. But, this is when it takes some real consideration as to whether or not you're going to be able to hit on these packs, because these are guaranteed to be common moments right here. It's not like you're getting a rare in either of these, and most likely you're going to be getting a common even if you get in that one. I don't like it. I don't like paying $40 to get in. Also, I would say that next week, it's not guaranteed that they're going to have you burn 5 in order to get in there. I think that the higher the cost of playing, lower amount of people are going to play. They're going to want to make it more inclusive. So I say they're going to change it up a little bit next week. Maybe you burn 2 moments, maybe you burn 1 moment, maybe you burn 3 moments. I don't know. That's just a little piece of speculation for me, based on the way that I see the dynamics and the way that I see them wanting to have more inclusion for people to play. They want to control the supply, but also at the same time, they want to keep people engaged as well. I did put that out on Twitter today if you want to follow me over there for little quick updates and little nuggets like this. But I said that the big thing to consider, it is a lot harder to see people burning $40 to play this, even if especially since they didn't get a celebration pack. Last week, it was easy. We got a free pack airdrop. There were 3 moments in there. We burned those right away. We knew we were getting 4 back. So I see participation actually significantly lower this week. Somebody right here says, they're selling the pumps, right? They sold Barkley and Swift last week, but they haven't dipped back down to what he was expecting. My response to that was hold tight, because when people want to go after these challenges and they need to get liquid, the examples that he used right here are Barkley and Swift. If, for example, one of those guys doesn't hit Swift, I don't even know if he's playing this week. He may be limited. He has some sort of injury. It may be an ankle or something like that, but I know I picked up Jamal Williams in one of my fantasy leagues because of that news. I say hold tight, because when it comes to needing to get liquid, then people will start selling these guys off. If Barkley doesn't hit in the competition and McCaffrey does, then people are going to be selling Barkley to get McCaffrey or Mahomes or Cooper Kupp or anybody else that they need to complete those 15 yards. So I'd say be patient. Most likely that these things are going to come back down either when that situation happens, or for sure when Series 2 comes out with new moments and you're able to use those on these challenges. All right, now let's speculate a little bit on what we can see coming for this upcoming Sunday. And we're going to do that by looking back at what happened last Sunday. Okay, so I have my notebook right here. I took some notes on last week, and I'm just going to go ahead and give you some thoughts on what I potentially see coming. I also went over this actually as a guest on Noam Torenberg's YouTube channel, who has been a follower of the channel for a really long time here at Nifty Sports for over a year now. If you want to check that one out, make sure to check out his YouTube page too, because I talked about some strategy on that one with him. All right, so notebook, what we have seen. Okay, we've seen top 3 receivers. We've seen DL, DB, linebacker, needing 3 of those particularly. We've seen top rusher. We've seen debuts, longest reception, at least 1 reception per game. You need top 5 rushers, one of them, one of the top 5 receivers, one of the top 5 passers, a player who recorded a sack, opening act set, every touchdown scorer. Okay, roughly these have been about 5 per challenge. You need about 5 things per challenge, and I don't really see that changing. I don't see them needing more than 5, up to that number of 10, maybe 4 to 6 range when it comes to this week. Think little wrinkles on what you saw last week, okay? Little wrinkles. So similar to just different combinations of plays that they put in last week, okay? Instead of opening act set, we might see another historical set come into play. Instead of seeing a sack, we might see interception instead. Instead of top 5 in rushing, we might see top 5 in tackles or anything like that along those lines, okay? Longest reception, call it longest run. Think little wrinkles when it comes to what we saw last week and potentially that looking forward to this upcoming week. Keep in mind, though, the things that we have not seen that I could see coming into play. I said this on Noam's show already, but rares, and we've already seen that with the Thursday night challenge. So rares could come into play this week. It could be any rare player for a particular team or a particular matchup. I could see them throwing something like that in there. They've already given us the cheat code, so I could see more cheat codes. Like this Thursday night game, a rare Justin Herbert or a rare Patrick Mahomes is not a cheap price. So if you have that in your collection, they're kind of rewarding you as a cheat code for one of the sections, not for the whole challenge, but for one of the sections of that challenge, which I like. And we also haven't seen team moments come into play yet. So take a look at the common team moments and debuts. And if they do go that route, right, think slates. Maybe take a look at a lot of games that have slates with common team moments, right? So not everybody out there's got a common team moment, but a lot of teams do. If there's, a morning slate with a lot of team moments, it could be top 2 teams in, points scored, or top 2 teams in least amount of points allowed, or something like that for throwing a wrinkle in there with the team moment. So that's just a little bit of speculation. If you have any ideas, then drop them down in the comments and let me know what you think. And actually, even better than that, come into the Discord, our free Discord, and chat about it with us in there, because that's some of the stuff that we talk about. All right, let's zoom back in and take a look at OTM Rumble. It's the last thing that we'll talk about today. We'll also look at the marketplace on the cost of some of the premier fantasy players out there as it relates to Rumble, and also hand in hand with just these playbook challenges too. Here's the Rumble page, rumble.otmnft.com. If you're not familiar with how to play, or if you haven't played yet, I highly recommend it. There were 7,500 people who played last week, which is pretty awesome. Shout out to the OTM team. They are doing such a good job with getting everything set up for this season. It's pretty awesome to see, actually. So once you get there, the fantasy scoring rules, I've made a separate video with all of that. Make sure that you know the rules. There is one Rumble hero that you can set with the 1.25x bonus, but it's basically scored like fantasy. You go right in there. It allows you to build your roster. It shows you that there are $10,000 of weekly prizes. Those are distributed through non-withdrawable Dapper balance. So keep that in mind. And they also have a cool place on their site called Rumble HQ. What this does is it puts the projected fantasy points that they have. You set up your account, and then it shows you whether or not you've owned it. So I'm looking at wide receiver right here. I obviously have one of these Cooper Kupps. I have Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, who could have another big week. And those are some of my top performing receivers. You could do the same thing for running backs. I got McCaffrey in there. Definitely going to be having him in my lineup. Got, maybe Russell Wilson or Tom Brady starting at QB this week. We will have to wait and see how this Thursday night game goes before I lock in my final strategy on Rumble. And I might have to end up buying something. I'll probably end up buying something anyways. I'm going to look for value out there, like I said, on the marketplace, and use the Dapper that I'm accumulated from selling some pumps, particularly last week, and see if there's anybody worth adding to the collection at value right now for OTM Rumble or for challenge speculation also. So here are some of the big dogs. I filtered these from low ask to high. So, if you're going to be playing the big dogs and you're getting into buying some of these guys at this stage in the game, they have gotten pretty expensive. Okay. McCaffrey is up big. Wow. He's up to 55 already. He was in the 40s. Low 40s earlier this week, mid 40s. Cooper Kupp is the cheapest. Cheapest Cooper Kupp is $37. Okay. Cheapest Travis Kelce common is $70. And to be honest with you all, I would not pay this type of money for these moments right now. I would be a little bit more patient, seeing the guys who don't hit, and then trying to maybe build, if you really want to get into the fantasy stuff, a long-term lineup. But hey, it's all up to you, right? Decide what you do. I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm just kind of telling you what I do. My own self and my own strategy. So there it is. Good luck to everybody who is playing OTM Rumble this week. Let me know if you end up getting one of those top prizes and winning. Also, good luck if you're going after the playbook and ripping open some reward packs. Good luck on those reward packs on Friday. Hopefully you got something good that you can use towards these lineups this week. And there we go. All right, there you have it. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Make sure to drop a comment. Let me know who you think the high scorer of the week in fantasy is going to be. And while you're down there, take a look at the description of the video to see everything that we got going on in the community. We got that Underdog fantasy link if you want to join me and get your first deposit matched up to $100. Make sure to use code NFTY. Or if you just want to chat throughout the week, join our free Discord community. We got a ton of good stuff going on there about sports, NFTs, sports in general, fantasy sports, all that kind of stuff. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good day.